The Inside Edge Network is brought to you by Fanatics. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans, dedicated to our favorite teams and athletes to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We're talking NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, National Hockey League, the NCAA. I'm a wrestling guy as well. We got WWE apparel available too. It allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. It's right there in the corner of your screen. Get your official gear. Level up with us at fanatics.com.
And with that, welcome on in, everybody, to the Inside Edge Network. I'm Eli Moon, and with me is the newest member of the Inside Edge Network, my bro, Omar. Omar, how are you doing, man? It is NFL Draft. It's Cavs Game 3. A lot of stuff going on here, pal. Welcome aboard. It's not the first time we've worked together. I've known you for over a decade. A lot of the guys have known you for quite some time. But we have you on here on the network on draft day. You made the call up before Travis Bazana here in Cleveland. A pretty big deal. How are you doing, pal? And just kind of get yourself familiar with everybody out there tuning on in.
Yeah, man. I'm doing well. Name's Omar for everybody out there watching Inside Edge Network. I'm a longtime watcher and follower of the Inside Edge Network. I tune into Eli's show all the time. I catch AA on Midnight Run all the time. So it's an honor to be on the network, and it's an honor to talk Browns and talk draft today with you. And, I'm excited.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a fun time. We're getting everybody primed up. Again, draft coverage technically starts right now. We're going to talk a little bit of it here. We got a jam-packed day. Of course, we'll go 4:30 to 5:30 here, so we'll be with you for the next hour. And then later on, we'll have the voice of the land with Ryan Mosser and Kevin Arnold. They'll be rocking and rolling. And then Commissioner's Couch at 7:45. So 7:45 till the end of the first round. You got David Calhoun, Ryan Mosser, and executive producer Chad Bryan rocking with you, breaking down, giving you analysis. So make sure you tune in to Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Like and subscribe. Like Omar mentioned, you're going to see some good stuff here. And like I said, we're excited to have him aboard, rocking and rolling with us going forward. Some great plans in the future. So stay tuned on all the socials. And then, of course, reminder, Midnight Run. Unhinged behavior, unhinged sports talk, Omar, as we know, our guy AA. He's going to be on Hinge. He'll have Chad Bryan and TK Dandridge with him. I might make an appearance. Just depends on where I'm at. Say 11:30, 11:45. I could be at the draft party rocking out with Cliche still, but might be able to make an appearance. Going to be a good time, man. And, it makes me think. Yes, sir. And it makes me think, Omar. We've had some drafts where we've hung out. We've spent some tough drafts together. We've had a few good ones. What would you say is the best Browns draft pick that you've seen since 1999? Let's go down memory lane here. Let's kind of just start off the day with some good news.
It's pretty easy, right? It's two pretty easy layup answers, right? Johnny Manziel and Corey Coleman.
Yeah, those are the worst case. Those are the worst case for sure. Those are the worst case.
Oh, no, they're the best.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Dude, Corey Coleman.
Did I just come back from like an alternate reality?
Yeah, you did. Corey Coleman might have been one of the worst, and upsetting draft picks I've ever had. Like, it was so bad, Omar.
I'm fine. 0-17 hurts so bad. And yeah, man, just having a scapegoat for that whole thing, just being Corey Coleman's great.
Dude,
the real answer, Myles Garrett, Joe Thomas. Obviously, those are your two. There should be your number ones in your head if you're talking Browns drafts and the best Browns players that we've ever drafted since we came back in 99.
Yeah, those are pretty great ones, and you answered the worst case, too, with obviously, Johnny Manziel, Corey Coleman. You throw Justin Gilbert in there. There's some pretty bad ones over the years. I think, you nailed it with Myles Garrett, Joe Thomas. You want to throw Baker Mayfield in there? I know he gets a bad rep right now, the way he left Cleveland and the way it all went down. But remember, he did lead the Browns to the 2020 NFL playoffs, gets a playoff win. I mean, you don't think the Bake Show deserves some love? I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna get some hate on a Thursday afternoon here. But, I mean, you got to put Baker in that. If there's a top 3, he's got to be one of the best first-round picks the Browns have made.
I thought we were just doing top 2.
Well, we are, but I'm throwing him in. If we did a top 3, you got to put Baker in there, right?
Yeah,
I mean, am I wrong?
Obviously, Baker's in that top 3. Yeah, I wouldn't put anybody else above Baker.
Yeah, man, and it's like you remember the good times. There's very rare good times we've had as Browns fans. You reflect on the worst case, Justin Gilbert, and that not working out and being the same draft year as Johnny Manziel. I mean, not great. And then you look at, obviously, you have Corey Coleman. We touched on that. Corey Coleman, that was a little rough. I mean, a lot rough. And then you even look back on some of these blunders, Omar. And we're going to get into what the Browns should do at number 6 overall and what their first-round picks today and a little bit later in the next segment. So make sure you don't go anywhere. But I want to just talk about one of the trade backs that stand out to me. And it's when the Browns had the 6th overall pick and they traded back. And that 6th overall pick became Atlanta's Julio Jones. So it makes me wonder, and we'll talk about the trade back if they should do it later on, but it just makes me wonder, maybe with the 6th overall pick, they should stay away from replicating that same move, like trading back. It just, I don't know, pal. What do you think? I mean, it just seems like there's so many bad memories, and trading back scares me, but I'm kind of like, if Andrew Berry thinks the right guy is there and you can get some value, maybe do it.
I mean, maybe. It has to be the right pick. It has to be the right team. It has to be the right – if you're talking maybe players involved, it has to make sense, right? So for the Browns, I mean, our biggest weaknesses right now would be offensive line and wide receiver, right? So if we're talking to a team potentially, those are the things that we want in that package, right? So, I mean – I think they should stay where they are. I think they should draft a receiver. Who that is totally depends on how everything else shakes out. But I really think the Browns should stay where they are.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what a lot of the other talent here on the network, we've had various shows discuss staying at 6. Double A Anthony Alford, he made his statement known last night on Midnight Run. If they don't take a receiver at number 6, that it's a mistake. It's a huge mistake. And I'm kind of in that same boat, but I'm also under the impression if Dallas feels, here's the thing, Carnell Tate, if he's there on the board, let me just make that clear, he's got to be the pick at 6. This scenario, however, is if Carnell Tate's not on the board, and if the Browns feel that enough talk has been about Jordan Tyson's toughness and his health, whatever, there's enough talk where they can go get value out of Dallas, go get 12, 20, maybe more, and move back and get Tyson, that would be the only way I do it. I know that's a risk, so you got to kind of trust in Andrew Berry, who's not giving us a lot to trust in, but that would be the only way I'd be okay with it is if Tyson's there, but it's almost like then just take him at 6. But I know Andrew Berry, I know the Browns front office, they've shown us they love to get that value out of draft, night and get picks.
Yeah, and you have to be comfortable with him not being there if you trade back. If he's not there, just take best player available, obviously. But I think if you're going to trade back and you're going to do that, that's a risk you're willing to take, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so. I mean, I imagine you'd be okay with it, right? But also, I'm not okay with the Browns waiting till 24 to take a wide receiver. I want to make that known as well. I'm not okay with them waiting for, Casey Concepcion or whoever it is, Denzel Boston, whoever it is. I just don't think Andrew Berry has shown enough of a track record to draft a receiver that late. And I know 24th overall typically isn't late. You can find some, guys later in those 20s. Zay Flowers, I believe, one in the 20s for the Ravens. Some other guys that stand out recently. Andrew Berry's not ever shown the capability to draft a wide receiver later than, ever. I mean, he's never really drafted a receiver that's been worth a dang since he's been here. And it's like, I don't trust him to do it tonight. It's crazy to say tonight. NFL draft coverage tonight here on the Inside Edge Network. Commissioner's Couch, 7:45 p.m. crazy to think about this, Omar, that we might be living in a world where the Browns wait till 24 to draft a wide receiver. Does that scare you as much as it scares me?
It doesn't really scare me. Let's look at the previous drafts, like last year, right? Fairly loaded up with talent at receiver. Take a guy like Alec Aomanor with Tennessee. There's a lot of like players that we can find. It's just finding those players and having the scouting and a GM who is worth a damn to find these players and bring them into this organization. If you're talking a sure bet, you stay at 6 and you get the sure bet receiver and you actually draft a guy who will probably work out.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to fish and pick up more picks and accumulate more things and, just trying all these things. Just get the sure guy. It's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be, but the Browns, they might take a right tackle, turn him into a left tackle, or they might, go defense. I mean, we'll talk about that later on. We're going to go to break here in just a few moments about if the Browns, if Caleb Downs, if Sonny Styles, if some of those guys are sitting there, Reuben Bain, do the Browns think about just loading up the Thanos ring and, getting that on the defensive side? We'll talk about that a little bit later on, Omar. But I want to ask you about the offensive line. It's obviously a point of need for the Browns. I'm well aware that you addressed that. Obviously, some of your first statements here on the network is about the Browns needing an offensive line. How fitting. 10 years ago, we're on a completely different network, a different station. We're talking about the Browns offensive line. Here we are 10, 11 years later doing the same thing. Crazy how that goes. And I want to ask you, if they go lineman at 6, are you going to be disappointed? Are you going to be like, dang?
No, because we won't know the true effects of this draft until 3 years later. So no, I am not going to be disappointed. I'm a Browns lifer. Whoever we bring in, I'll support no matter what. That's just how it is. Even if I don't like them, like Johnny.
Well, hey, we love it. Whoever gets drafted tonight, whether it's at the 6th overall pick or whether the Browns trade back, and if they keep 24, if it's at 24, you got a friend in Omar. You got a friend in Omar. He's going to support you until you give him a reason not to. So at least you got somebody rooting for you here in Cleveland. I just
can't be missing blocks for 2, You can't be doing it. We can't have false starts. You got to play sound, smart football. Come on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll play a clip. Obviously, our own Ryan Mosser, he's going to be with David Calhoun. They're going to combine to do the commissioner couch, with Chad Bryan executive producing later on tonight. We'll play some of Ryan Mosser's coverage on the Sunday Sports Show from earlier this past week about just some breakdown on the offensive line and if the Browns were to go that early at offensive line, and kind of give you some breakdown on and some reason why you should tune in and choose the Inside Edge Network as your choice of NFL draft coverage as you're sitting there having your NFL draft party. Put on the Inside Edge Network and rock with us. But that is Omar. I'm Eli. We're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, we are going to talk more Cleveland Browns. What should they do? Should Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles are on the board? And do they even keep on the 24? We haven't talked too much about that. We'll talk about that 24th pick as well. This is the Inside Edge Network. Make sure you give us a follow to Inside Edge Net, and we're back right after this.
Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 absolute fire flavors to choose from. Visit Dubby.gg and use promo code InsideEdge10.
Hey, I got something to show you guys. Take a look. It is spring. Happy spring to all of you. Take a look at what we have here for you from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Beautiful spring scent candles here for you. Hand poured with premium fragrance and essential oils. How about this? Our coconut soy wax candles bring fresh, uplifting spring scents to your home. Made with clean, natural ingredients, they're a mindful choice for sensitive spaces and those who love effortless seasonal fragrances. You got to check it out right now. There's the soft bloom and the lemon bar candles, all healthy ingredients, all from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20. That's InsideEdge20. Get this for yourself, for your friends, family, everyone. You want a good smelling home, AlleyRoseFragrances.com will make it happen. Again, AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Get the new spring candles. And when you order, if you're a first-time customer, InsideEdge20 is the promo code.
And welcome back to the Inside Edge Network. Man, what an exciting day. I'm Eli Moon. I got my bro Omar Claussell here with me. You can just call him Omar. It's our bro Omar. All right, he's going to rock out with you for the foreseeable future here as the newest member of the Inside Edge Network. Here announced on draft day, so it's a huge day for the network. Gives you even more reason to tune in for weekly coverage. We're going to obviously have some exciting news with Omar for some shows coming up. So make sure you stay locked in here at Inside Edge Net. Give us a like, subscribe, go follow, all that good jazz. You guys know what the deal is. Give us some love on the socials, and we'll give it right back and keep giving you Cleveland's, as Cleveland's digital leader, your source of sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, all that great stuff. So we are jazzed up. As you can tell, I've had probably about 4 cups of coffee. I still don't know what the Browns are going to do. We are having a day, Omar. But I don't know what these guys are going to do. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because last year we didn't know if the Browns were going to go offense, defense, what exactly they were going to do. And then they went with Mason Graham, right? And everybody wanted Travis Hunter. Let's remember, before the draft, Travis Hunter was the big talk. When the Browns obviously had the second overall pick, they wanted to go Travis Hunter. That probably would have been the pick. But they found the value with Jacksonville to move back and go get Mason Graham, who's worked out very well for us. And Travis Hunter now being converted to a cornerback. Just he won't be a two-time, or both, sides, offense, defense. He won't be that type of player anymore, which was the value in drafting him that high. So the Browns worked out pretty well there. So I'll give Andrew Berry a little bit benefit of the doubt when it comes to, I don't know what he's doing. But that still scares me, because other than last year, it hasn't worked out well. Do you feel that Andrew Berry can replicate last year's success? I mean, I'm not saying he's going to nail every pick, but do you think he can have back-to-back successful NFL drafts? I mean, his job seems to be on the line this year.
I mean, yeah, his job is on the line. If he can't get it done this year, then he's gone. It's simple as that. And unfortunately, it's going to be a position that, he hasn't drafted well. He has not drafted receiver well at all. And he's going to have to figure it out, and he's going to have to – we need a receiver in this draft. We cannot start this season with the receivers that we have. It is putrid what we're dealing with here. So yeah, we need a receiver. Simple as that. If we don't have a receiver in the first round, or at least the second round, we riot.
Yeah. I've been talking to...
And Andrew Berry's gone. Simple as that.
Yeah, Omar, and not to interrupt you, but I've been talking to a few of the bros. We've had many conversations over the last few weeks to about a month here about, it just seems like if Carnell Tate is there, he has to be the guy. I've talked to so many of the bros in my circle, and just people, you walk down the street and you're like, who do you think the Browns take at number 6? Carnell Tate? And it's like, we're all in unison, and it just seems like that has to be the pick. Now, the one thing that could get in the way is the Giants moving up, having the 5th overall pick, now acquiring the 10th overall pick by moving off of Dexter Lawrence, sending him over to Cincinnati. So it kind of lets New York have a little bit more flexibility with what they were going to do with the 5th overall pick, if they were going to, if Sonny Styles or one of these guys, slide down to 5, were they going to go that way? Now, having the 10th overall pick and maybe still being able to get a Ruben Bain for the defensive line or David Bailey out of Texas Tech, they now have that opportunity to go Carnell Tate if they do choose to do that at number 5, and that would pair him up with Malik Neighbors and now Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo. They have a pretty good offense, a young good offense there for John Harbaugh in his first year as a Giants head coach. So that would be the only wrinkle, it seems like. But other than that, if the Giants are going defense and Carnell Tate's there at 6, Omar, it has to be Carnell Tate. Or, do you consider defense? Now, we just talked about with the Giants, and we talked about with them having, an opportunity to go Sonny Styles maybe, or Caleb Downs, or, Jeremiah Love, or whoever. They got Scadaboo there, but maybe they just go crazy with the running back room. Who knows? We don't. So we got hours away, and we still don't know. But the whole question is this. Do the Browns go defense if Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, some of these guys are on the board, Ruben Bain, if these guys are on the board, Omar, do the Browns just load up on defense?
It's tempting, isn't it?
It is.
You don't really know you don't really know how the Miles situation is going to shake out. You don't know if he's going to really vibe with this regime change. So would it be a good idea to shore up your defense just in case Miles leaves, or if we can find a player that suits our needs that we need, take him, right?
And you bring up Myles Garrett. I got to ask you, it's your first time, voicing some opinions here on the network, and we got to get your thoughts here. The big talk around Cleveland has been, does Myles Garrett leave Cleveland? Is he traded eventually out of Cleveland? All the restructuring of the contract and all the discussion about why he's not at voluntary minicamp. Omar, it's a two-part question here for you.
All right, it's voluntary, number one.
It is voluntary, but I have two questions here for you. One, does Myles Garrett get traded tonight by the Cleveland Browns? And if he doesn't, is Myles Garrett a Cleveland Brown by week 1 of the 2026 NFL season?
Just, as a guy being thrown on a network first day, my thought is, no, we're not trading him.
Okay.
That would be dumb. We just paid him all this money. We restructured his contract. Yeah, we came out publicly said we weren't trading him, right? So that would just make the Haslam's look stupid if, we came out and traded Myles Garrett, right? I don't think the Haslams are in the business of looking stupid, although, some of their decisions kind of make it seem that way. But I don't believe they want to be fools, and it would be very foolish to just trade away the best player in the NFL right now. So you have to stick with Myles, and you have to make him happy. You have to help this guy out because he's the best player in the NFL, hands down.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I and then regarding the defense, I mean, make it better. Go ahead. It won't hurt us. And if you like a receiver later on in the first round, then go ahead. If you like one at 2, then go ahead. If he's going to be there, then might as well, right?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I think, I get where you're coming from, but there's going to be a lot of Browns fans tonight. If they go defense, in the off chance they go defense with that 6th overall pick, Omar, I think the alarms are going to start going off around Cleveland as far as, are they trying to have a backup plan in case Myles is off of this team? And I get it. It could just be them strengthening the defense. Could be a lot of things. But I just still stand pat with what we started the show with, talking about they have to address the offensive side of the ball. No matter who's at quarterback, they have to address this wide receiver room. You cannot, as much as we love Harold Fanning, you can't have him go out there and be the wide receiver 1. He needs to be your tight end 1 and provide value, but you need an alpha guy on the outside.
Yeah, we're not gonna. You can't win with the guys we have. You can't. We couldn't get it done last year. What makes you think that they're just gonna suddenly, because we have a new head coach, that he's gonna get the most out of these guys? I highly doubt it. We need to bring fresh new blood in here, just like how Jarvis came in and changed the culture. We need a culture change at wide receiver, and it has to happen through the draft or through a free agent. Like we trade a guy in here, and I don't really know many guys that we could like pick up right now, but I I don't really see us being like a destination place to go to. I don't see the higher guys wanting to come to play in Cleveland. I mean, it's just we're not getting the draw. Like this team is bad, and we're gonna have to draft a guy, and he's gonna have to come in and help change the culture with Shador.
Yeah. No, 100%. And that's the big thing is like getting them on this time frame. We were just talking about with the Giants. They'll have the 5th and the 10th pick tonight. The Browns have an opportunity. They have Quinshon Judkins coming back. He had a very strong rookie year. He showed a lot of flashes. You have the same thing with Harold Fannin at tight end. You have an opportunity with Shador Sanders where he is saying all the right things to be a franchise quarterback. He's showing up, putting the work in. Now will the play reflect for a 17-game season? Does he get that opportunity? A lot of us here on the network, across Cleveland, hope he does. But regardless, you have an opportunity at quarterback, running back, tight end, and now an opportunity at wide receiver to add a Carnell Tate, a Jordan Tyson to this young offense with Todd Monken, who's had a number 1 offense in Baltimore before. It really gives the Browns the best opportunity to succeed. It just makes me wonder. What exactly do they have planned with that 24th pick? Because I think that's the wild card. Because, are they sitting here thinking they're going offense no matter what? And, with both of them, and they're just going to get linemen later? Or are they trying to find that value? Because I keep going back to it. I know a lot of Browns fans will be sick about it. But Andrew Berry and this Browns front office loves to find value in this draft, in drafts in general, Omar. We both talked about that here on this show alone. They love to find that value. So it would not shock me. I've become okay with the idea that it's going to possibly be a trade back tonight. I know it's not going to be exciting for a lot of Browns fans, but I'll give Andrew Berry the benefit of the doubt, my bro, because he did have a great draft last year. Let's just see if he can replicate it. And if not, he's probably gone because this is how you rebuild the team. You just mentioned a lot of guys aren't coming back here or they're not going to come here in general. We're not a top destination. That is not going to be a quick rebuild where we can go sign a bunch of guys, bring in some heavy contracts, and make it happen. Not right now. So this draft is so imperative with 2 first-round picks. It's probably the most important draft.
Not with Deshaun on the books, not with Miles on the books. You can't do it. You cannot hamstring yourself. The only way you can build this team is through the draft. And if you do not hit on this draft, you're gone.
Yeah, and I hope that Andrew Berry is able to replicate last year's success. It's so important. The 2 first-round draft picks. I would say, Omar, this is probably the most important draft in Andrew Berry's NFL GM career. I think these 2 first-round draft picks and what he does after that, these day 2 and day 3 picks, this is the most important draft of his NFL GM career because if he doesn't nail on some offensive picks, the Browns are going to trot out a team that is middling to pretty bad on offense just because they have not acquired or added really anything except for a few offensive linemen. And then we're wondering, how do we make this team better? And then we're probably looking at drafting a quarterback. And I'm quite honestly sick of the same song and dance. Can we figure out how to make this offense better and put Shador Sanders in position to where he at least has a chance to succeed, Yeah,
no, I 100% agree. It only hurts his confidence to put him behind that line that we had last year and, not giving him any weapons at all to work with and not giving him any reps at all really to work with either, So it'll probably be refreshing for him to get some new guys in here and some fresh blood. And, they have a good chance to really set the culture with these camps coming up. And especially with the rookie mini camps. Like you need whoever you bring in through this draft, these kids, these players, they need to have the mentality to come out and win. They need to come out with like a killer mentality. They need to come out wanting to win games because we just don't have it right now. And we need a fresh wave. We need some fresh blood to come in here and give this team a kick in the butt because they need it.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do, pal. I'm in full agreement with you, and I'll leave you with this. if the Browns do go wide receiver tonight, and it's Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, that means the next wide receiver of the Cleveland Browns, hopefully wide receiver 1, will have some sort of ties to Ohio. It'll either be Carnell Tate, an Ohio State Buckeye, or Jordan Tyson, whose brother plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jalen Tyson. And with that being said, we're going to talk some Cavaliers when we come back here. Omar and I aren't going anywhere with you till about 5:30, so that we got about 25 minutes or so, but who's counting? We're having a ton of fun. Getting you ready for the busy day here on the Inside Edge Network. Again, draft coverage really kind of started a little bit with us. We're going to get into it a little bit later with the guys from the Commissioner's Couch. That's Ryan Mosser and David Calhoun. Executive producing with Chad Bryan. He'll be doing the thing where he hits the ones and twos and sees what Eli Moon does every now and then. With that being said, that's Omar. I'm Eli Moon. We're going to rock and roll, talk some Cavs when we come back. We appreciate the love and support so far. And, when we come back, we'll talk Cavaliers, Game 3 against Toronto Raptors. This is the Inside Edge Network. Follow us at Inside Edge Net. And rock out with us all day here. Thank you. We'll be back after this.
Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at mossermomentsphotography.com.
I think it's an absolute slam dunk pick and incredible value after trading back, especially getting the position of need, probably debatably the top position of need for this Browns team. This is probably my dream scenario. I didn't expect my top left tackle in the entire class to still be there. As much as I like Monroe Freeling, there's still a lot of questions in this game. I don't have many for Caleb Loman, man. He's my left tackle one because I think he's the cleanest, most technically polished, most NFL-ready blindside protector in this class. He's not the biggest, not the flashiest, trait monster, but he's the guy I trust, the most to walk into the NFL building and stabilize the position where the Browns desperately need to fix. This is exactly the type of pick that makes trading back worth it, I think. And like I said, I added a second this year, added a second next year, and still walked away with, I think, the best left tackle on my board, and that's how you win drafts. I love Lomu because he plays the position like a veteran. His game is built on balance, on posture, hand timing, recovery, not chaos, not panic, not guessing. Utah put him on an island consistently, and he handled it with a level of control and consistency that translates immediately to the NFL. I think he's one of the best technicians in the class. He understands leverage, understands angles, understands how to present a picture to a pass rusher that dictates the rep. He's not necessarily raw traits bet, but he's polished, he's reliable. He's a high floor blindside protector with room to add strength and still climb.
Hello and welcome back to the Inside Edge Network. I'm Eli Moon. That is Omar Claussell. We are back here on the Inside Edge Network, breaking it all down. You heard there from Ryan Mosser. Caleb Lamu, maybe one of the guys they have, the Browns having their thought process tonight, Omar. Maybe they go Caleb Lamu. Ryan's my guy. He's been breaking it down a lot more than me, but I just would have a tough time with Caleb Lamu. But we'll see.
That's pretty odd. He has two offensive linemen back to back. I highly doubt they do that, but
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see there tonight. Ryan Mosser and David Calhoun, they are breaking it down. Commissioner's Couch at 7:45 p.m. here on the Inside Edge Network. Of course, we have, after that, a special edition of Midnight Run. Double A Anthony Alford, Chad Bryant, TK Dandridge. They are going to just be unhinged and break down the draft, break down the Cavaliers Game 3 against the Raptors. They're going to break it all down. And I'm sure Double A will have something going on. His coffee will probably be going on around 12:02. Something will happen, and Double A, he'll have something going on. But yes, again, NFL draft coverage tonight, 7:45 p.m. Commissioner's Couch. We'll see what Ryan and David think of the Browns pick, wherever it may be. Of course, executive produced by Chad Bryan, and then special Midnight Run episode after. Of course, you can check that all out here on the Inside Edge Network. Give us a like and subscribe, all the follows, all the great stuff, Inside Edge Net, and check out the website, Inside Edge Network, so you can stay tuned in with all the great Browns coverage, and of course, the Cavaliers. Omar, I've been waiting for the Cavaliers talk. I've been waiting to get you on these airwaves to talk about the Cavaliers. They're up 2-0 against the Toronto Raptors. They're heading into Toronto tonight, and a pretty big game. You know, Brandon Ingram's been playing pretty rough for Toronto. They just haven't been able to get the production out of him, and the Cavaliers' stars and their depth have really been showing
Dean
out.
Dean Wade, man. Dean. Like, no, everybody's like, talk about Dean. Well, we're talking about Dean. And, you know, how defensively they've been shutting down this Toronto team. It's great to see them playing in rhythm and motion, you know, coming out strong in this series. And I think we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You know, the Cavaliers, they have really showed why when they're clicking, when they get this core four or whatever you want to call them, why they are one of the best Eastern Conference teams. They really have something rolling here right now with the backcourt. Donovan Mitchell, James Harden playing out of their mind and just playing really up to standard. Evan Mobley rising above offensively. We knew the defense was going to be there for Evan Mobley, but the offense has been absolutely lights out, and I think that's what stands out. As well as Jared Allen. We talked about Jared Allen. We've talked about him on offense, you know, being important, getting going early. He's done that throughout this series. That's been incredible. You mentioned Dean Wade, Omar. I mean, he's been really good in really stifling Brandon Ingram. He's been, as the main defender on Brandon Ingram, he's really holding him, I believe, below 50% from the floor during this series. So it's been really impressive there. Max Strus, him being back has been, welcomed. He's been absolutely, just like spark plug for the bench. And then We're still seeing ups and downs from Jalen Tyson, but I think we're due for a Jalen Tyson game or two, and that's what's cool about this Cavaliers team, Omar, is they have so many guys that can go out and get a basket. Last year we were wondering who can get a basket. This year it seems like everybody wants to get the basket. It's a matter of, hey, we only have one ball, so he's going to have to score here, now he's going to have to score, and it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, one more guy that you didn't bring up defensively, Sam Merrill, playing his heart out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sam Merrill's been really lights out.
But yeah, you're right. Spider, Harden, we got to get offensive baskets. We just got to keep it rolling. It'll be amazing, man. I think we could sweep.
Yeah. I mean, I called a gentleman's sweep. You know, at the beginning of the series, I said this goes 5 games. I would not be surprised, my bro. I would not be surprised if the Cavs took both in Toronto. They're playing really good basketball right now. The defense, I don't think we're going to sit here and see the Cavaliers have what, Detroit and Orlando were doing in the first half of yesterday, 46 all at half. I don't think we're going to see that out of the Cavaliers, but I do think we'll see more efficient defense. I mean, I'll take 113 points. You know, if you can hold them to 110, 113, I'll take that because as long as the offense is there, because you have two guys in the backcourt with Harden and Mitchell that can provide that offense, and as long as Mobley's providing 20 or more, then I'm okay them falling 110, 115 giving up. I'd like to see it brought down to a little bit less, but, beggars can't be choosers, and considering how bad this Cavs defense was earlier this year, I'll take it.
Yeah. Big improvement, big ups. Just have to stay consistent and, get through this series. And I really think this team is really hot right now, and I think we can make a good run here.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Again, Cavs take on the Raptors in Toronto. That is for Game 3 tonight. That is in Toronto, and it's going to be post-game coverage. More so with the guys, Chad, TK, joining AA Anthony Alford. They'll give you coverage, the post-game breakdown, the Cavs, the Raptors, Game 3. Like I said, I may make an appearance, and talk about some Cavaliers as well, and who the Browns took at whatever draft pick. I keep saying whatever draft pick, Omar, because I don't want to say who they take at 6th, and they trade out, and they're like, well, you kept saying who they take at 6th, and it was nobody. I'm covering my own ass right now because
That's completely fair, completely valid. I do the same thing because you don't know what's like. Everybody tries to predict the draft every year, and we have really good experts here on Inside Edge, but it's still kind of a crapshoot, So hopefully the Browns just do the smart thing, do the wise thing, pick the best player, have a good draft. Hopefully, I'm not wearing black today for Andrew Berry's funeral. And we'll see where we end up.
Yeah, we definitely will, pal, and it's going to be interesting. I know you'll have some takes in the upcoming weeks. Like I said, if you're just now tuning in, Omar is the newest member of the Inside Edge Network. He'll be joining us on air and also helping us out behind the scenes as well. He's a great asset and a great bro to have on the team, so we're happy to have him here. And just
Happy to be
excited
here.
to see. Yes, sir, brother. We're excited to see what he's got coming up. So stay tuned on the socials for what's coming up with Omar and the Inside Edge Network. Stay locked in Inside Edge Net, and you'll see what's coming up there. A lot of great stuff. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on what the Browns do tonight. But I'll tell you, it's gonna be something. If it's anything like what we reflected on to begin with to start this show, it could be anything. It could be the highest of highs. It could be a Myles Garrett, a Joe Thomas, a Baker Mayfield type of vibe, or even Mason Graham, at least right now from last year, or Omar. It could be Justin Gilbert or Johnny Manziel or Corey Coleman, or the list goes on, pal.
Man, I really didn't want them to draft Johnny, but on draft night, I got so like bought into the hype, and then like I was completely disappointed when this dude was just drinking and doing all these drugs and not even reading the playbook. And Coach McDaniels is like, "What am I supposed to do here?"
Yeah.
So like, yeah, no, I was still excited. I wanted it all to work out, but obviously it didn't go that way. So whoever we get, I'm sure I'm going to be excited. It's just, I'm giving it 2 or 3 years to kind of really reflect on what worked, what didn't. Hopefully we don't draft a guy and he just, knock on wood, gets hurt or something. Still technically a bust. You got a great guy, but like he wasn't able to perform. So like I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like I said, 2 or 3 years. Some people do 5. Usually it takes me like 2 or 3, and I get a good idea of like, is this guy going to stick around? Is he not? So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We sure will. And make sure you stay locked in here again, Inside Edge Network. We'll have coverage for you all day. Omar and I wrapping up in just a few moments, but Voice of the Land with Ryan Mosser and Kevin Arnold will be with you at 6 o'clock, and then at 7:45. So Voice of the Land with you 6 to 7 o'clock. Then Voice of the Land, they'll go for that hour. We'll have the Commissioner's Couch at 7:45 doing draft coverage. Ryan Mosser, David Calhoun. We'll see how their mock drafts line up with the real deal tonight. We'll see what their thoughts are on everything. Of course, Chad Bryan, executive producing that. And then after that, again, special midnight run episode. It'll be a little bit before midnight is what Double A was saying, depending on when the draft goes on. So it might be like 11:45 run. We're just not positive yet. But it will be a very special midnight run episode to air after. It'll be Double A Anthony Alford welcoming Chad Bryan to stay with them. And TK Dandridge will be joining from Legal Formation and the Sunday Sports Show. So it'll be a lot of great stuff here with you. I might make an appearance. I keep saying that, so now I probably have to make an appearance. And how could I let you guys all down?
You kind of have to make an appearance.
Yeah,
Heck, if I'm around, who knows? I might show up too.
Yeah, you know what? We might get some more Omar later as well. It's a whole Inside Edge Network celebration. It's a great day. We appreciate you as choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader, your source of sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, everything in between. We are, as you see, building this from the ground up. We've brought Omar into the fold. Some great things to come up with him in the very, very soon future. So we'll see what's going on there. And again, weekly content all week long, all weekend long, a lot of great stuff. So just excited to keep bringing this to you guys. Make sure you tune in, like I said, to the draft coverage tonight, the Cavs post-game coverage tonight, all the great stuff. We hope we got you primed up for the day. Again, Voice of the Land after, and then Commissioner's Couch for the big day, the big part of the day, which is the draft. So we'll see what's going on there. Omar, usually at this time of the day or the night or whatever, if it was nighttime and it was Inside Edge Prime Time with Chad Bryan, I know you've seen the thing, so usually this would be the time where I'd be like, all right, Chad, let's put a bow on this thing. So I'd be like, Omar, let's put a bow on this thing. And for the first time here, we're going to put a bow on your debut episode on the network. I want to ask you, do you have any final thoughts for the people out there, the Inside Edge Network?
Final thoughts, don't be overreactive tonight, especially with the Browns, especially with the Cavs. If the Cavs do drop tonight, it'll be okay. This team is really good, and I feel like they're really gonna make a run. So like, don't be upset if something happens, the Browns don't draft the right guy, the Cavs drop a game or whatever. Don't be all doom and gloom. Don't be all doom and gloom. The sun will come out tomorrow. It'll be fine. You will get over it. There's more to life than being upset about sports. So if there's one thing that I had to say, it'd be just RELAX.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, hey, we appreciate those wise words from our guy Omar, and I will have some final thoughts. I will kind of just piggyback on that and just say, yeah, just watch the draft, have fun. If you're going to a draft party, enjoy yourself, eat some good food. If you're drinking, drink responsibly. You call an Uber if you have a few too many to drink because the Browns drove you crazy tonight. Just be careful. We love you. We need you, obviously, here on this earth. So just be careful tonight. Have a great time. Enjoy the coverage all here on the Inside Edge Network at Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Stay locked in. And just stay locked in. We appreciate you. Like I said, choosing us, Cleveland's digital leader, your source, sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, all the great stuff. We appreciate that you believe in us, and we believe in you, and that's why we keep bringing you all the great stuff that we do. So, yes, draft tonight, Cavs, Raptors, Game 3 tonight, a lot of great stuff. Omar aboard the Inside Edge Network. It has been a groundbreaking episode here. We appreciate you for staying locked in with us for this entire hour. For everybody, later on tonight, rock out and do your thing. We know you're going to rock out. That's Ryan Mosser, Kevin Arnold, Voice of the Land after us. And then Ryan Mosser, David Calhoun with Commissioner's Couch for draft coverage. And AA Anthony Alford, Chad Bryant, TK Dandridge. Special edition of Midnight Run. AA, you might want to start brewing your coffee already, buddy, because it's starting to get late. So with that being said, that's Omar Claussell, one of my bros. I'm Eli Moon. This is the Inside Edge Network here on the Inside Edge Net. We will talk to you very, very soon and have some reaction. But, of course, the entire network will have reaction. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.